Hello again and welcome back to the shop. Last week I had a lot of fun making pen blanks from dowels made of scrap wood. This week I decided to give it a little bit of a twist and sort of step it up. If you guys are anything like me, when you have a pen that doesn't turn out, you probably just can't bring yourself to throw that blank away. So I have a number of pen blanks laying around the shop, partially turned, that have 7mm brass tubes in them. What I decided to do was turn those pen blanks down to 10mm, once again with my tenon, insert them into a blank, and then turn a 1/4-inch dowel to insert into the brass tube. Made for a very interesting blank, and it made for a very interesting pen. This video is a short version of how I made that pen. It just basically shows the process. If you're interested in a full version, it's quite a bit longer. There were a couple of issues with the pen. I had a couple of blowouts, and I left the camera on and I just filmed the process as I sort of talked my way through it. It's kind of my thought process on fixing the pen and actually what I did. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the comments for the long version of the video. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in seeing how I made this pen, stick around and I'll show you. What I have here are some old pen blanks. These are 7mm from Slimlines, and over the years I've had blanks that I've messed up. You can see where I've chipped some off. I've had some that were being used for experimentation and it just didn't pan out the way I wanted it to, and I can't bring myself to throw them away. They're all tubed up. They've got 7mm tubes in them. What I'm going to do is put them on my mandrel. I'm going to use my 10mm tenon tool, and I'm going to turn the outside dimension of each of these blanks to 10mm. What I'm going to be doing now is making a 1/4-inch tenon. Now this is a 1/4-inch box wrench, and I've ground the short end off to make it into a tenoning tool. I've already sized the end of this, so I knew how far down to take this with my roughing gouge. I just want to do a little bit at a time. I don't want to turn the whole thing down to 1/4-inch. We'll turn this section, then we'll cut it back a little bit and turn the next section, cut it back a little bit. Because if I get it too thin, I'm just not going to be able to make the tenon. It's just going to be too flexible. I just hit that with a little bit of 300 sandpaper just to take any burrs off, and I should have a pretty good 1/4-inch tenon now. What I want to make sure of is that the tenon will go inside of this pen blank that I've turned down to 10mm, and it's a little fat, so I'm just going to take some sandpaper and I'm going to clean it up. I'll use my tailstock to keep it from wobbling around too much. Now that I've taken my old pen tubes, which were useless to me as pens, and I've turned them down to a 10mm diameter, I'm ready to drill some holes in a blank and glue them in. Now this blank, it will be for a slimline pen. I've marked the center, and these two ends will actually be cut off, and it was just easier to go from the center out than it was to try to save the block of wood on either end. But I've marked a couple of spots where I'll drill 10mm holes, and I will insert this pen tube into those holes and glue it in. Okay, and I use a little mallet that was a gift from Chris Pine. And I'm just driving it right down in there. I'm going to turn around here and shoot it with a couple shots of an activator. And now I'll just continue to do that, and I'll glue one of these blanks. I've got several more blanks into each one of the holes, and I'll come back when they're all glued in and show you what it looks like. I've got all of my old pen blanks driven into my cherry blank. I think they look pretty cool like that. I'm going to go ahead and get each of them cut off. Now what I want to do is take these 1/4-inch dowels, and the darker holes I'll drive the maple into, and the lighter colored holes I'll drive the walnut into. I want to drive that a little bit farther through because I've got the divot in the end from the tailstock. That'll probably get turned away, but I want to make sure it's not a problem. So let me go ahead and I'll put the walnut in this lighter hole here. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is shoot these with a little bit of my accelerator. And then I'll cut them off and continue to fill the rest of the holes, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when I've got all the holes filled. And here's the blank. Now it looks a little bit ugly right now, but I think that'll change as we turn it. I'm going to go ahead and get it cut, get it drilled, and get the tubes glued in it, and then I'll turn it into an ink pen and show you guys what it looks like. You can see that I drilled the hole off center because you're able to see part of the contrasting wood here, but not over here. I think that looks kind of cool. I mean, it's just sort of a different design. What I'm going to do is, I'm feeling like there's a little bit of run out on the right-hand side here, or for me, the right-hand side. I'm going to reverse these blanks so that this one is farther back and I have a little more stable environment. I'm going to turn this blank back here. So give me a second to reverse that and I'll finish turning. I'm at the point now where I'm going to go ahead and sand. Definitely not going to leave the camera on for that. I'm going to run through the grits from 150 up to about 400. Then we'll come back and apply a finish and see how she looks. I'm going to go ahead and get some CA glue on here and polish it up and put this together. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a pen and let's get this pen assembled. It's not bad. I think I'm going to give it just a tap. There we go. I like the ink to extend just a tiny bit farther than it did. That's beautiful. Okay, we'll get the trim ring on here. And now let me readjust for the back half. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to hide the area where I had to make the repairs by using the clip. So we'll give this a tap. There we go. And now that it's started, let me find the best way to do this. Let's see. I think right there is going to be good. Whoops. All right. There we go. I am really happy with how this pen turned out. This is definitely a trash to treasure. I have had some of these old pen blanks that didn't make it sitting around my shop, some of them for many years, and I just happened to get the idea. I'm not sure. It just came to me. I don't know how else to explain it, and I'm really glad I attempted it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or a question. I try to answer them all. If you really like the video, do me the honor of sharing it with your friends. If you're not a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. That way all of my new videos will be delivered directly to your YouTube feed. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Have a great evening, and I'll see you again real soon.